across America as being bittersweet because it contrasts the enthusiasm of activists after she lost with the lack of enthusiasm that she generated with her campaign. Gee, really? I wonder if that has anything to do with the candidate. I wonder if that has anything to do with you, Hillary, that you were not inspiring enough to generate the response of the Women's March in D.C. Maybe you should look at yourself. Hillary Clinton recounts moments when, women said to her that they're sorry they didn't vote for her. And there's this idea of Hillary being mean to these people. I wanted to share right in her eyes, says Hillary, and say, you didn't vote? How could you not vote? You abdicated your responsibility as a citizen at the worst possible time. For her, maybe, the worst possible time for Hillary when she needed the vote. And now you want me to make you feel better? Of course, I didn't say any of that. Of course, because Hillary is duplicitous and a liar and crooked. These people were looking for absolution that I just couldn't give. Absolution. Let's think about that word for a second. A word normally associated with the granting of forgiveness in religion that, at least in the Catholic faith, a priest will grant to you from God to him to you for confession of your sins. Hillary is comparing not voting or not voting for her as a sin that she cannot forgive. Are you kidding me? This is the height of arrogance. This is the height of hubris. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around this, especially this week. In a week when we're supposed to be remembering everyday heroes and first responders and those who gave their lives, and 343 firemen in New York City, and over 50 police officers between NYPD and Port Authority, and people who lost their lives in Flight 93, and people who lost their lives at the Pentagon, and the thousands of servicemen and women who lost their lives overseas since then in Iraq and in Afghanistan. But Hillary Clinton is going around saying, I cannot forgive the sin of not voting for me. I love that she's still in the news cycle. I love that this is still lingering about. I love that Hillary Clinton is still trying to insist upon her relevance and impose herself on everyone. Please stay in the news cycle for at least another year and a half, Hillary. Run again if you want to run again in 2020. I want you to drag down the ticket in 2018 for the midterms. I want you to run again in 2020 and primary any young upstart or up-and-coming Democrat, socialist, liberal, whatever you want to call themselves. Stay in the news. Write another 3 books. Write a book a year. I want What Happened Volume 2, What Happened Volume 3, What Happened Volume 4. I want to know all the details of why you lost. And I want you to keep pontificating about how everyone's at fault but you. Bernie Sanders, creepy Donald Trump, the electorate, people who didn't turn out to vote, people who did turn out to vote, people who turned out to vote but didn't vote for you, people who voted for third parties, Russia, James Comey, Anthony Weiner, Huma Abedin. I want you to put it all out there. I want you to wrap it all up in a nice, neat package. I want different volumes. I want an encyclopedia worth of Hillary Clinton saying, what happened? I want it all. And I want you to keep doing, because the more you keep talking, the more Democrats are going to cringe, the more ammunition you give Republicans, who will probably get off the hook for all the inactivity and the failures of governing that we've been seeing in the past few months. I want Hillary Clinton to be talking 24/7 on every major liberal-leaning news network, talking about what happened. Because then I know we'll win. I know that Republicans will maintain power. I know that Donald Trump will get reelected. I know that we'll retain majorities in the House and the Senate. I know that conservative judges will be appointed to different courts of appeals and different district court levels, and maybe even to the Supreme Court if there should be any vacancies. in the next 6-7 years. Hillary Clinton is the best spokesperson for the Republican Party right now because of her shocking lack of self-awareness, her audacity, and her tone-deaf attitude towards the worst campaign in history. And that'll about do it for this week's show, folks. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. Time for a quick final thought. Next week, we got some great guests coming on, scheduled to come on next week. Kevin and Sam Sorbo, talking about their new movie, Let There Be Light, produced by Sean Hannity. He's an executive producer on it. And we're going to be talking about the movie. We're going to be talking about acting as a family. Their kids get involved in the movie. We're going to talk about the message of the movie and a whole lot more. But also as a final thought for this week, we've had some primary elections across the nation, especially in the People's Republic of New York City. Bill de Blasio, of course, he won his Democrat primary. But he didn't win as big as I thought he would have won. He got under 80% with a field of nobodies. Yes, he got reelected. Yes, he had a great number of votes. Of course, there was low turnout because Democrat primary in New York. You might as well just stay home for the general, right? So, Bill de Blasio did not get the hardcore Democrats that I thought he would be getting. Could he be vulnerable? One can only hope and pray. We'll see if up-and-comer Nicole Maliotakis can actually do anything with this. I'm still leaning towards a heavy no, but we shall see as the elections turn. But that'll do it for this week's show. I want to thank everybody for listening to the show. Like I said, next week's going to be an awesome show. We'll try to get Russ into the mix. Of course, we normally do this at the end of the show, but check us out at www.behindenemylinesradio.us. Check us out on the Facebooks and Twitters at BEL_radio. And if you missed any part of this show as we broadcast live normally, Tuesdays 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker, you can check us out on any one of our rebroadcast outlets, including WJHC 107.5 FM in Jasper, Florida. Stay strong, Florida. We're behind you all the way as you rebuild from Irma. You can also check us out at Talk 92.1 WDDQ, Adele, Georgia, and also News Talk 1330 AM WLBB, Carrollton, Georgia, all a part of the Talk America Live Radio Network. Talk America Radio Network, whatever you want to call it. Check them out at talkamericaradio.us. You can also check out KLRN Radio, High Plains Talk Radio, and Sackheads Media, ICRN, the Internet's Conservative Radio Network, which powers the Talk America Radio Network, and of course, Lanterns.buzz. Check them out. One of the fastest growing internet radio stations out there. And by the way, if you missed any of the rebroadcasts, you can always check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, Podbay, TuneIn, Player FM. You can discover us on Google Play Podcasts, Auto Radio, the new project of Sirius XM, SoundCloud, and of course, the mighty, mighty iHeartRadio Network. That'll do it for this week's show, folks. Time to shut this thing down. We are out of here. Good night, folks.
Our position has been compromised. It's time to roll out. Report for debriefing at www.behindenemylinesradio.us and look for regular communications via Facebook and Twitter at BEL_radio. You are the resistance. Behind Enemy Lines. A rock radio production. Back in 7 days. Out.